contract that is coming up for negotiation, as I understand, is the teacher's contract. Is that correct? Am I right here? So what I understand from, again, this presentation that was done last week by Liberty Markets is that average salaries in District 113A for teachers, a little below state average, while average administrator salary is about 10% above the state average. Obviously, personnel is a big cost leader in your overall budget. As school board members, what would your philosophical approach say to the teacher's contract, to negotiating the next teacher contract be in terms of wages and benefits and other assorted details about the collective bargaining agreement the district will ostensibly reach with the teachers union? We'll start with Duane Bradley. Please stand and face the spot.
That's a good question. I'm not on the negotiations team right now, and they're doing the negotiations. Well, they were doing it the other night, apparently, while we had another meeting here. I would have to think about that and face whatever it is and look at the complete details of what the union is looking for and compare it to what the school district's needs are, and then proceed from there and come to a conclusion that's acceptable to both parties.
Just go right down the row unless somebody wants to skip.
Yes, I question where those numbers came from as the teachers being underpaid.
A little bit under the state.
Under the state average. Because in our financial plan that was approved, 70 teachers and staff were cut, and no administrators with a Type 75 certificate were cut. So if 70 teachers and staff were cut, they naturally cut the first, second, third, fourth year teachers. Those are the ones at the bottom of the pay scale. So I question if, when you figure in the teachers that are left, that are in the middle to upper end of the pay scale, if our number is still below the state average. That's what I would like to know. And again, I will emphasize that in light of our financial problems that we're having, I really think we need to roll back the salaries until we can figure out what exactly is going on here in our school district, regroup, and then we can find out exactly where we're at and decide where to go from there.
Okay, so mark this time. The teachers that are so highly paid right now, there are 12 of them that are retiring next year in 2012, at the end of 2012. And so we'll be right back there on the bottom of the list again. Thanks.
Well, as a board member, what I would be looking for is if we are attracting new teachers, good new teachers, so we want to be competitive in that end, and are we retaining the good teachers? I think we've been doing a pretty good job, in whether we're below the state average or not. Most of the teachers have stayed, and they all, prior to this year, seem pretty happy. So, well, I know where to go, but they have all seemed pretty happy anyways. I haven't seen any teachers that said they weren't happy teaching in our district.
All of our new teachers are like going. I mean, that's the big thing, that they're all like going.
Okay, they didn't leave on their own though.
No, I agree.
Okay, so are we attracting good new teachers? Are we keeping the good teachers? And that's how I would look at it. And the other thing we have to look at is, can we afford it? As we now found out, we couldn't. So that's how I would approach it.
Thank you. Dave.
I just wanted to say that actually 4 administrators were cut this year. You prefaced it with having a certificate or not, but there were 4 administrators that were cut this year. Additionally, there are 3 teachers who are retiring this year on top of the additional teachers that are retiring next year, as was stated. If you take the low end of any salary range and cut off the low end 25%, averages are going to increase. So the idea is when those new old teachers move out who have been here for a while, and we bring in new ones, we bring ones in that come in at the low end, and it balances out. That's how it works. Thank you.
Sue Murphy?
It will be really hard to attract new teachers because we don't have the finances to pay for new teachers. So that's not gonna happen. The way you compare teacher salary is the IASB website again. And I agree that our teacher salaries are from the previous year. Now we got rid of all non-tenured teachers. So we have all experienced teachers. They have a pay scale. So they're higher on the pay scale. So next year, our IASB salary may show higher, but what was the question?
The question is just kind of the teacher's contract that is up for, the teachers being up for a new contract. What are kind of your philosophical construct of how you will approach that contract with respect to salary, benefits, and the other associated details?
The majority of our budget is spent on teacher salaries. I think teachers are the backbone of our schools, that we need great teachers, and it's going to be a really difficult climate to renegotiate a contract at District 113A, but I have faith that we will do it. We have in the past done interest-based bargaining, and we all come to the table, we have a certain amount of money, and we are not hiring new teachers, and we will retain the teachers, so it will be a very interesting contract.
Reigle.
I want to point out that if you've been listening and paying attention tonight, we're going to have teachers retiring. So we're going to have some funds from those high-end teachers retiring that can be used to purchase back some more teachers in the class, to bring back to the classrooms, to drop those classroom sizes. I think we need to retain the teachers that we have. I don't think we definitely don't want to cut more staff. So we just need to live within our means and work with the current budget we have. If the referendum doesn't pass by the taxpayers, we need people that are going to work within those means, not deficit spend, follow the financial plan, bring back that stability to the school district, be accountable and be transparent to you, build that trust back by being transparent and accountable to all, the whole community.
Andy Taylor.
I guess the problem being at the end here is everybody always says all the good answers. So
I think I might fear it, besides that answer.
With this current negotiation, obviously, it's going to be an interesting one. We'll have to see how it turns out. But the thing to keep in mind, the reason you do this is, you pay to attract and retain employees. So, I think one of the goals of the previous contract was to attract and retain good, best-in-class employees. As the negotiation happens, we can cut our employment costs by cutting the salary ranges and, get commensurate quality teachers that way. Now, sure, in the current economic climate, people are probably glad to have a job, and maybe we can keep this going for a couple more years. But at some point, the economy is going to turn around, and when more teaching positions start opening up, then we're going to have to start being worried about losing our good teachers. Now, as far as a couple of comments, yeah, I agree that as far as whether we're below average, above average, the latest data that you can get doesn't have the latest salary, so it does have last year's where it still has that first through 4 year teachers. So certainly last year we were below, and this year I'm sure we're going to bump up a little bit. But that's the other problem with always comparing the averages, especially something like this. If the district's been going on a big hiring, whether due to growth or whatever, they're going to end up with salaries on the low end because they're going to be the first through 4th year teachers. School districts that aren't hiring are going to end up showing up on the high end. But either way, like everybody's been mentioning here, we have to spend within our means, and if that's what's going to come out of the contracts. It's a huge portion of our expenses, and we're just gonna have to pay with the money that we have. Right?
Michael,
I too appreciate our teachers. I think they do a great job, and I think we need to be as generous as we can, but not more generous than we can. I think you need to negotiate in good faith, no deficit spending. I also think part of the question leads one, if I regulated my spending based off my neighbor's spending, I think that's irresponsible. I think looking at our neighbors, our neighboring districts, school districts, and the state average is informative. It's worth looking at. It's a valuable piece of information. But budgeting and spending and revenue, what you have, you can only spend. So I would always look at it from that point of view first. We want to be as generous as we can without deficit spending, and maybe get rid of the keep up with the Joneses approach to finances. Thank you.
Maybe just a follow-up on